bad shot. Go swimming? Huh?
When I think of our legacy, I would like great grandkids, grandchildren to look back and not say, gee, Grandma and Grandpa were a big part of this company and they made all sorts of money. And I think what I would like them to know is that we kind of went against the flow a bit. The business was part of it, but it wasn't the all in all. The thing for us was serving God.
Well, when we first met, it was at school when my family moved from Beaver Creek.
Said to the girl next to me, I said, you need to introduce me to that new girl. And she goes, well, she lives right next to me. You aren't going to like her. She's not your type. And I said, well, what type is she? Oh, I don't know. She's going to be a nun or something, you don't want to meet her. I said, yeah, set it up. Mm-hmm. So, we didn't know anything. We were just young kids. We weren't 100% sure what we were going to do, but we knew we wanted to be involved somehow in some Christian work. When I got out of the Air Force, so I thought, well, we'll just go work for your dad for a year or two, figure out what God wants to do in our lives, and we'll go from there. I liked the engineering field. You can take things apart, put it back together. If they don't work, you take them apart again. You can't do that with people. So we started off with a company. When I started, there was about 10 people or so.
The business was not at all big at that time when you went in. Neither our goal was to be rich.
I didn't have a goal of saying this company is going to be worth $100 million in X amount of years. The Lord really blessed the company and things started taking off. First international sale we had in New Delhi, we both had the opportunity then to fly over. We both really didn't know what to expect. I've seen pictures and stuff, but photographs of places like that are never quite what they really are.
First time we arrived in India in 1977, it was New Delhi. And even walking off the plane, noise and strange languages, smells, people all over the place.
We considered ourselves fairly poor at that time. We didn't have any extra money, but we found out real fast that we were considered extremely wealthy.
It caused a lot of turmoil. India experience changed us.
So when we came back from India, there wasn't just a light bulb that went off that said, okay, this is missions is something you're going to get radically involved in. And I think we both felt that we live in a very sheltered life and a very sheltered culture. Coming back, I think we started questioning about some of the things we wanted to do different. And when we ended up going to the Brethren Church, they really didn't have a mission program. So we thought, well, we'll just take a trip to Haiti. So we found somebody who was supposed to meet us at the Haitian airport, Port-au-Prince. Most of our friends thought we were nuts. Well, meeting Joanne was interesting because we already thought her organization was up and running. Little did we know she was just kind of starting to piece it together. So I said, well, we're going to be in Haiti again, and maybe we can just meet there. She goes, yeah, sure, I'll see you there in Haiti and we'll talk. Well, that was her first trip. But she really helped open doors there. Out on the island of Lacanau, they wanted a supply of ice. They can't get ice very easily in Haiti. So we came up with a plan to build an ice factory. And 20 years later, it's still operating. They said, well, there's a lady in our church whose daughter is in Haiti, and we think she's running an orphanage.
Sure enough, we found her.
We would take groups from the church and go down for 2 weeks and build cabinets and help out in her orphanage and do those type of things. So that was a real start for an outreach out of our church that didn't have any.
Joanne, knowing that I had my degree now, She knew the condition of this little Wesleyan college in Jamaica, struggling. And she said, can you go down and teach for a while? And so I had the privilege of teaching Abson from being his teacher at one point and being able to help him on with his master's and theology and divinity and on with his doctorate.
I'd been a part of World Hope since the beginning, and it was always project-oriented. But going over to India, I think, was kind of the turning point. After retiring, and I started going to India with Vicki in 2016, I tried all sorts of other avenues of working over there that I was familiar with, and they just didn't work out. And so I ended up going to Mukti. Mukti Missions is an orphanage that was started 130 years ago by a Hindu lady from a high caste who became a Christian when she went to London. She came back and the Lord spoke to her, and she noticed that there were a lot of women were very much second-class people. They could just be thrown out of a home on the street. If you were crippled, or if there any deformity whatsoever, you were tossed out. So as a last resort, I said, well, I'm going to go and talk to the director and see if there's something I can do there. We know that you know how to do business. We want our girls to be independent. We'd like for you to start some coffee shops. So that was the beginning of then getting to meet these young women who wanted to be entrepreneurs. Over a 3-year period, we did 3 coffee shops. The director introduced me to JU. I saw business potential. She's very outspoken. She's likes to work. She's a real go-getter. 3 years ago, she had a tiny little room there at the orphanage. I think she was making 1,000 rupees a month. She is working on her master's at Christ University. We've kind of taken her on as almost an adoption.
You know, you justify a lot. You know, I mean, money is nice, but then it's a temptation to, oh, well, I could use this. Oh, I could use another horse or something, you know.
You've received everything from God as a gift. It'd be nice if it was just 10%, but something tells me it's a lot more than that. So, you know, I would encourage, young people hearing this that it's just getting started, not making much money. It just doesn't matter how much you make. You give a percentage of what you make because that's what we're called to do as Christians. The benefit of a foundation, maybe sound like it was a good idea, was that these relationships that we've developed, whether it's Mukti or UBS or individuals like JU and Sarah, but we can continue to be a part of their lives even if we die tomorrow. The foundation would continue to work with them and help them as they go through life. It just all, boils down to that wealth is relative, and compared to the rest of the world, pretty much all of us are wealthy. And if you read the scriptures that says from whom much is given, much is expected, I think for us U.S. Christians, irregardless of what we make, I think that is going to be something we are not going to want to hear on the other side. And that's just always kind of weighed on me.
Being blessed by the Lord, feeling His pleasure. It seems like He has asked so little, and then when you do it, He just showers you with His presence and feeling His love. It's the greatest thing in life. When you visit other places in the world, you realize He's everywhere. He's working through people, even sometimes when they don't know, but He is.
The phrase, from whom much is given, much is expected, is one of those verses that stand out in the Bible we always felt that we have been given a lot, and we can't bury it or just sit on it and then expect to hear, "Well done, good and faithful servant," when we get to the end, because we didn't take what he has given us and multiplied it.